is up, you guys, and welcome back to Brunt Automotive. Today we are tearing apart this Gen 5 LT1 bottom end. And I'm going to show you guys some organization tricks that I use to make it easier to put it together, just like I showed you when I did the valve train and all the top end of this. Also, to answer some of the clickbait. It's not clickbait because it's true, I did lie to you guys, so stay tuned to the end of this video and I will share why I accidentally lied to you guys. So just to show you some of the bottom end here, because I know this might be a new view for a lot of you. I knew I was very shocked when I first saw the Gen 2 LT bottom end, but here you have your main caps. Those will come off, and they are actually bolted on the side as well. On the Gen 2, I actually only had one bolt on each side of these, so 4-bolt main on this one. And then you have your rods, so you have your caps in here that you have to take off. So I'll spin around the bottom end and take all of those off first, take the pistons out of their holes, and then I will go to the main caps, and then the crank can come out. So over halfway there, the only thing left is the main caps to come off, and there are 4 bolts on top and then 1 on either side. Here's kind of the organization that I'm dealing with. I have them labeled by each cylinder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then whatever cap they came on, I put that kind of like if the engine was how it is now, I would have this faced to the front, whichever way it came. And then the bearings don't matter because I'll be taking all of those out. This one just happened to fall out. And then the pistons, easily you can tell which direction they go from the arrow, and because they're cut. For the main caps, I'm going to start with these side bolts, which my other engine did not have, and then I'm going to move on to these, and they make it super duper easy in these engines because every single one of them is labeled and has an arrow of which way they face, which is fantastic. Just like I did with the valve train, I'm going to label these as main cap side bolts so that I don't forget where they came from. And then for my main caps, obviously I will label these as the outside ones, but each one of these, you can leave them in there, and that way you know exactly where they go when you put it back together. So I did tell you guys a little fib on accident. I did not mean to. After talking to one of my sponsors, I am deciding to go with a stock piston instead of getting aftermarket. So to answer a couple of your questions on the whole fly cutting pistons thing, no, you do not have to rebalance. It's not required. You can use a vacuum to get all of the shavings out of each one of the cylinders, which I used. I just didn't show it in the video, which I understand you guys are probably confused about. Also, those shavings don't usually fall into the rings or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. Yes, if you want to go the full 9 yards to make sure each piston weighs the same, you have to keep in mind that each piston is actually different from the factory, so it's not going to be exact. So with that being said, I'm going to keep stock pistons in it, and with how fast this car is going to be, I already told you guys I was jumping a couple levels. I was just skipping past a few. So with how fast this car is going to be, I need some seat time and an NA car. And it's going to be NA for a little bit, but there will still be the power adder there. It will still be there. It will be ready to go whenever I decide. And if you guys are confused on the build, if that will change anything, I'm going to get into more info on like the torque converter and all of that, so you guys will understand everything once it's all here and I get to explain it in a full video for you guys. So just know I will be keeping stock pistons, and that's about it for this week's video. Tearing apart a Gen 5 LT1 bottom end. Huge shout out to my sponsors, Holley EFI, BTR, Mincer, Motul, and Heatwave. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week.